I'm here with a 2020 BMW X3 xDrive30e. I know BMW has these crazy long names, but that's how they name their vehicles. This is the plug-in hybrid version of the extremely popular BMW X3 midsize SUV. Now this vehicle starts at $48,550. That's about $4,600 more than the conventional X3. However, with federal and in many cases state subsidies, that can eliminate the price gap, and in some cases this actually will cost less than the gas version. It has a 12 kilowatt hour battery. That's gross capacity. The usable capacity for the battery is 10.8 kilowatt hours. The car hasn't been officially EPA range rated yet, but I think BMW expects it to come in just under 20 miles of electric range. And I think that's probably where it's going to come at, because I've been driving this car for about a week now, and I've averaged about 19 to 20 miles per charge. That's driving it easy, not really getting on it, and the weather's been good. In the winter, I think we're probably looking at somewhere between 10 and maybe 12 miles of all-electric range on the car. But the car wasn't designed to be an all-electric car. The electric part of the vehicle really is just to increase the gas mileage of this car, and it does a really good job at that, which we'll get into a little bit later. It has a 107 horsepower electric motor and a 181 horsepower 2-liter twin turbo 4-cylinder for a combined 288 horsepower, 309 pound-feet of torque. It has an 8-speed transmission with paddle shifters on the steering wheel. The car, when it's in blended mode, is extremely responsive. It goes 0 to 60 in about 6.1 seconds, and it really is a good performer. However, when you slip it into max e-drive mode, where the gas engine is not assisting, it's not really responsive or quick at all. It's really for like tooling around town. I did some 0 to 60 tests, not official, with not in controlled conditions, and I came up with about 12 seconds 0 to 60. So it's about twice as long to get to 60 when it's in full E mode than when it's in the blended mode. But again, you use the right tool for the job. This isn't meant to be a Tesla fighter on the drag strip. This is for moving the family around and doing it efficiently and getting good gas mileage. And it does get good gas mileage. Talking about that, I drove the car about 500 miles this week, and I averaged a combined 46 miles per gallon. And that was without trying. I wasn't rushing to plug the car in all the time, so it would be all E-miles. If I had done that, I could average over 100 miles per gallon. But I tried to simulate what the average driver might do, which is every night you come home and you plug the vehicle in. You start off in the morning with full battery, you exhaust that, you drive a little on gas, maybe you come home, plug it back in, and later at night you run a couple of errands, drive another 10 miles or so, and then come back home. In doing so, I averaged 46 miles per gallon. Now the regular X3 gets 26 miles per gallon. So you can see how much savings you would have over the course of time if you just, were diligent in plugging the car in whenever you had the opportunity to. Didn't go crazy trying to rush for every outlet that you can get. Just plug in it at night, and then, when if you exhaust the battery during the day and you come home, you plug it back in, walk inside the house, and maybe you drive the car again at night. It has a 13.2 gallon gas tank. So I drove the car about 500 miles and I still didn't need to refuel it. I think the average person driving this car is probably going to go about 600 miles between refueling the small 13.2 gallon tank. So in that regards, it's a pretty good plug-in hybrid. Do I wish it had more electric range? Of course I do. If it had 30 miles of range, I'd probably say it should have 40 miles. And there's plenty of electric vehicle advocates and aficionados that will discount this vehicle because they want full electric. And I do understand where they're coming from, but there is a place in the market for this. There are a lot of people that wouldn't even consider getting an electric car, and they find themselves in a BMW dealership looking to get possibly a small SUV, and the dealer explains to them, look, you can get this, it costs about the same price, and instead of getting 26 miles per gallon, you can get 46 miles per gallon or 50, or depending on what your driving cycle is. That's going to get people into a plug-in vehicle. And I think once people get into plug-in vehicles, they're likely to stay in a plug-in vehicle. Their next vehicle might be a fully electric car, or it might be BMW's next plug-in hybrid in 3 or 4 years that gets 50 miles of range. So while I understand a lot of people look at these and say, oh, they're useless, they only get 20 miles of range, there's a place for these in the market, and I think it's kind of like an EV with training wheels. And in that regards, I'm glad BMW came out with this. Wish it had more range, but after driving this car for a week, I can understand why people like it. I can understand why people are going to buy it. And I think people that do buy it are going to like it, and like the fact that it's electric and really improves their efficiency and gets them more miles per gallon. We're going to do a walk around on the vehicle, point out some of the other highlights of the vehicle, and while you're at it, I'm going to be doing more of these videos: electric car charging station, electric vehicle, range tests. So if you like what I've been doing, click the subscribe button below and subscribe to my channel. We're going to take a quick look at the hand gesture system of the BMW X330e. BMW has a camera integrated into the headliner that's supposed to read your hand gestures and allow you to control a bunch of features in the car. You can set a specific hand gesture to, say, your home address for navigation, and when you make that hand gesture, the car automatically begins to route you home. It also controls the radio functions, which we're going to go over a little bit today. Hopefully it works. So the radio is actually on right now, but I have it on pause, and I have pointing 2 fingers at the radio, supposed to pause it and unpause it. So I'm going to try right now to unpause the radio. It worked. So now the radio's on. If I wanted to increase the volume, you roll your finger like this. You see the volume's scrolling up. Now I'm going down. Hope that wasn't too loud for you guys. I can do this, and it's pausing it. If I want to go to the next channel, you do this, and it jumps to the next channel. If I want to go back to the channel I had before, I point that way, and it jumps back. So it actually, at first I didn't think that I'd want to use it, but as I got used to it and realized that most of the times it works, not all the time, I had to realize I had to kind of hold my hand close to it so that the camera could see it. Earlier I had my hand back here on the armrest, and it only worked about 50% of the time. So to really make it recognize your gesture, you have to be a little bit closer to the actual display screen, which is a touchscreen, by the way, in BMW's new iDrive. And I'm still getting used to it. I'm used to their previous version, but this one seems to be more intuitive, quicker. I definitely like the layout better, and with these new integrated hand gestures, it definitely is a better system. Okay, I'm going to do a quick walk around of the BMW X3 xDrive30e. I'm starting off in the front for a reason. Take a look at these grills here. BMW's classic double kidney grill. If you notice, they're closed. You might be able to see that, you might not. This car is equipped with automatic opening and closing grills. So what happens is the vehicle, depending on if it needs the extra air intake, will open. If it doesn't, like right now when it's parked, they close. When it's driving in full e-power on battery alone, these are closed to improve aerodynamics. It also will be keeping them closed sometimes when the gas engine is powering the car along the highway. It just kind of intelligently figures out when it needs the extra air for cooling and when it doesn't. So that's the unique feature on the front grille. If you notice, these just seem to be getting bigger and bigger on BMWs every year. That's their design language. Some people like it, some people don't. Coming around to the side here, the charge port, like on all BMW plug-in hybrids, is on the left side front fender. You just press the door and it pops open. You've got the charge light indicator there. On the flap here, you have the different light colors to tell you what's going on with your battery. If you close this, now I noted that that just pops open for a reason, because the gas flap on the other side of the vehicle doesn't. You have to press this button here, and when you press this button here, you get a preparing for refueling, and that stays up there for 7 or 8 seconds before you're allowed to open the gas flap back here. It won't allow you to open it until it's ready. That's because they're just clicked and it's open. It's a pressurized fuel system like other BMW plug-in hybrids. I remember my i3 with range extender was the same way. You had to press the button. Usually it opened quicker than that. This seems like it was about 10 seconds, but usually it's 7 or 8 seconds and it allows you to open it up. So this is locked for a reason. It's because the system has to prepare for refueling. So come around to the front of the vehicle again, take a quick peek inside. Really nice, super comfortable seats, fully adjustable. There's, I think, 8 different leather options. This is a top spec vehicle. Most of the time when you get the media cars, they are. I want to show you a quick demonstration of the drive modes. When you come in the car, turn it on there. The start stop button is there. We've got this nice display here. As you can see, it's fully charged. It's showing 18 miles of range. In my experience this week, I was getting between 19 and 20 miles, but that's based on your previous driving. I might have been a little heavy on the right foot before I shut it off the last time. Gas gauge is on the left. It shows 176 miles of total range, a little bit less than half full on the gas tank, fully full on the electric battery. Now when you come over here, down in the center console, you can switch between driving modes. Battery control mode lets you set a target amount of battery. If you click on this, right now it's set at 70%. What'll happen is I'll drive and the car will use the battery till it's 70% and then it won't use it anymore. Oh, it'll use it if it's regaining a little bit of energy for regen, but it'll hold it at 70. It won't let the battery go lower than 70%. Now, the next driving mode here is Auto eDrive. That's where the car blends the battery and the gas to try to come up with the best, most efficient driving style. And then the last one here, you set it to Max eDrive. What'll happen is the car will stay in eDrive mode fully on battery until the battery is exhausted, or unless you really depress the accelerator. What happens is the car will stay in eDrive mode up to a certain point. When you're pressing the accelerator, you can feel it kind of hit a wall when it's almost fully depressed. If you go beyond that and press a little bit harder, the gas engine turns on. But if you don't, you'll stay in E mode the whole time. It's pretty easy to stay in E mode because it's a hard wall. You really feel it, and you'd only really want to get out of it if you needed the extra power for a quick short burst of acceleration, because in eDrive mode, the car is substantially slower than when it's in the blended mode. So this is the interior. Got some cup holders down here, USB port. In the center console here, you've got a USB-C port and a nice deep storage compartment. We've got big pockets on the side of the doors. I love big pockets. You could store a ton of stuff in there. Up here on the roof, which I really love, it's got this big panoramic roof with an automatic sunshade. Oh, I wish I had this on my Model 3. I had to buy an aftermarket sunshade and it just kind of clips in. But I'd love to have this where it automatically does. And with the sunroof, one button press, sunroof opens. You can even make it go further. Same function with that, and closes that way. And then this screen also will close if you want it to. Again, great feature. Wish I had that on my Model 3. Let's take a quick peek in the back. The seats are actually down. They go up like in 2 sections, but you can also, this is 40, 20, 40. You can have just the center section go down if you were hauling something long, or you can have it go up together like that. You can also pull this here and adjust the seat. If you notice the seat pulled up a little bit, it has different positions. I can't do it because you need 2 hands, but you can put the rear seats in 3 different set of reclining positions. Come around here to, oh really, one more thing. There's 2 USB-C ports for your back passengers, and also the HVAC controls there, so the rear passengers can set their own comfort settings. Now the car has an automatic opening trunk, and it also has a feature where you can kick underneath the car and open it. I didn't use that right now. One thing you'll notice, there is a 4-inch ledge in the back of the hatchback area. That's because the gas tank is a little bit higher than it is on the regular full gas versions. That's just packaging with the battery system and the dual hybrid system. So the back hatch, you lose about 4 inches of storage space. There is a little separate compartment down here where you can keep your charging cable, couple other small things, not a lot, it's super small. There's also a latch here on the side where you can pull it and the seats automatically fold down. This one is for this side. They won't fold down individually though. It's just this side with the 40/20 and then the other side with the 20. You can't just make the 2 sides go down. The left side, those 2 sections are always together if you use the automatic latch. But if you don't use the automatic latch, you can do either one of them. Close this. Coming around to the side of the vehicle, again, the gas port. This has the optional 20-inch wheels, part of the M Sport package. There's 18-inch wheels, 20-inch wheel, and 19-inch wheel options. This has the, as I said, the large 20-inch wheel options. So that's the 2020 BMW X3 xDrive30e.